Coming up, a 60-year-old man is dead following an apartment fire in Northeast El Paso. Officials are continuing their investigation. And a new home for America's Space Command. President Trump is announcing the U.S. Command headquarters will be moving from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama. The reason why. And Robert seems to be tracking Hurricane Lorena. And Robert, my question is, are we going to get any remnants from that?
Oh yes, Monica, potentially in a big way. The rain starts football Friday with stronger thunder showers Saturday morning. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We're live on KTSM 9+, and your news starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News first at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, our digital newscast. I'm Monica Cortez. We're going to begin with devastating news out of Northeast El Paso. A 60-year-old man is dead after an early morning apartment fire. El Paso Fire Department officials tell us the call came in just before 4 a.m. along the 10,000 block of McCombs. KTSM crews captured video this morning as 9 units worked the scene.
Neighbors reported the fire. It was just one apartment, and crews were on scene within about 4 minutes, and they were able to knock it down within about the first 5 minutes.
Now, as of this afternoon, the cause of the fire remains under investigation by Fire Marshal's office. Well, more than 160, that's the number of traffic stops El Paso County Sheriff's Office say were made during a Labor Day weekend enforcement operation, resulting in 35 arrests. Of those arrests, 26 were for DWI. The operation was in partnership with the El Paso Police Department and other regional police departments. El Paso County Sheriff Oscar Ugarte released the following statement, reading in part, quote, "We are seeing numbers slowly decrease during these operations, which shows the message is getting out to the community. But even one impaired driver is one too many. We need everyone's continued cooperation to ensure families across El Paso County get home safely," end quote. It's a clip that had our newsroom glued to their screens. It's a dramatic water rescue in New Mexico, and it was all caught on video. Take a look at this. This video was released by the Grand County Sheriff's Office, and it shows an officer from the New Mexico State Police rescuing a mother, a child, and a dog from their overturned car, surrounded by rushing floodwaters near Buckhorn over the weekend. Working the local sheriff's department and fire department, the officer used a ladder to span the water, putting the child on his back and then leading the mother to land with a safety rope. Mother, child, and dog are doing just fine. To read more on today's top stories, just simply visit KTSM.com. All right, we do want to take a little break from all of today's headlines and take a look outside. So, not very impressive, right? Just a few clouds here and there, nothing major. But you did see that, right? The Weather Authority alert was triggered. And here is why. I am not going to spoil the news. I'm going to let our chief meteorologist tell you that. I'll boo you from the distance, though.
Well, no change from the forecast last 2 days. We've been very consistent about this. Yeah, it's been really nice. It's a hurricane that's out over Mexico called Lorena, and its core is coming our way. And when it passes over, we could face the potential for some very heavy rainfall. So we just want everybody prepared for that happening. That's coming up this weekend. Yeah. Absolutely. 92 and no threat of any kind of rain today, just beautiful clouds, partly to mostly cloudy skies, dew point at 42, 18% relative humidity. We're going to stay partly to mostly cloudy through the night tonight, but already in the night, the outer bands of what has become a fairly powerful hurricane are moving over the borderland. According to the National Hurricane Center in Miami, this is the expected trajectory of Lorena, now a hurricane level with gusty winds to 100 miles per hour. The core will turn right over the central part of the Baja of California, and then that remnant core will be on its way toward far southeastern Arizona, far southwestern New Mexico, with a low pressure system and still energy to bring that wave right in, especially late Friday in through Saturday. A look at tomorrow. Beautiful day, just a lot of clouds, and we're pulling that temperature down to 89 degrees. I'm going to have that detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a look outside now because there is a stalled vehicle. You can see a lot of lights blinking out in the distance. It looks like we have cop cars, fire trucks. It's too far out from here to see exactly what is going on, but this is the view from I-10 and Brown. So if this is your commute, just know that around downtown El Paso, you are going to be seeing some slow and go traffic. So make sure that you are taking extra time as you head on out your door. Again, I-10 Brown, you can see there is something going on in the median. Fire trucks, ambulance, cop cars, all out there, and they are closing a few lanes. So of course, we'll keep a very close eye on it as it continues to develop. Topping national news, a federal appeals court blocked the Trump administration from removing alleged Venezuela gang members from the U.S. under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. The court granted a preliminary injunction blocking deportations of the alleged Tren de Aragua members. The court said that they found, quote, no invasion or predatory incursion, supporting use of the 18th century wartime law. ACLU lawyers representing plaintiffs before the Supreme Court and the Fifth Circuit called the ruling just. The Fifth Circuit limited its ruling to the use of the Alien Enemies Act for removal and said it does not cover other legal means of removing foreign terrorists. Well, it's a new command post for a branch of the U.S. military. And in today's Political Minute, News Nation's Blake Berman dives into the details.
A new home for America's Space Command. I'm Blake Berman, host of The Hill on News Nation. On Tuesday, President Trump announced that U.S. Space Command headquarters will be moving from Colorado Springs to Huntsville, Alabama, which is nicknamed Rocket City, known for its role in building the first rockets that helped U.S. astronauts reach the moon. The U.S. Space Command is responsible for U.S. military operations in space. It was established in 1985 before being dissolved in 2002 amid the War on Terror. In 2019, in the first Trump administration, it was reestablished. About 1,700 people are directly assigned to Space Command headquarters. Another 18,000 are Joint Force personnel who coordinate activities between the Space Command and other branches of the U.S. military. The president says Space Command will be crucial in protecting U.S. space assets and detecting threats to the country. I'm Blake Berman, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Well, in news across Texas, a judge has set a $1 million bond for the man accused of killing an 11-year-old over a doorbell prank. 2 days after the shooting, the suspect was charged with murder in connection with the death of 11-year-old Julian Guzman. And today, a judge set Leon's bond at $1 million. Prosecutors argued for the bond amount, reasoning the allegations involve someone intentionally killing a child. District Attorney Sean Tier believes the act was intentional and that the bond is appropriate.
When you have a case as tragic as this one, and quite frankly as brutal, when you have an 11-year-old shot in the back and murdered, I think it's an appropriate bond.
Now, the boy Julian Guzman had been ringing doorbells as a prank late Saturday, commonly referred to as ding-dong ditching. A witness said the suspect came out of the house, ran into the street, and started firing a gun down the road. The boy was shot in the back, died of his wounds Sunday. Charges against Leon Jr. are expected to be upgraded to capital murder. Well, coming up, El Paso Police launch a drone response program it says will help public safety. We share your thoughts in today's In the Comments. Then ChatGPT will intervene sooner and in a wider range of situations when it detects potential mental health crisis. All the details in just a few minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
at each step.
All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
Welcome back, everyone. The El Paso Police Department will now have a bird's eye view of any situation without having drone operators on the scene. The department is the first in the nation to receive clearance for airspace around medium-sized airports. El Paso Police Department officials made the announcement Tuesday along with the El Paso Fire and the El Paso International Airport. Instead of using the traditional helicopter or plane, the Class C airspace clearance can actually help police and first responders make better decisions. EPPD officials share that they have 22 drone pods throughout the city that have been placed on top of rooftops, city buildings, police and fire stations. Of course, we shared this story via our social media pages, and a lot of you guys had a lot you wanted to share with us. We're going to begin with 9 the Wonder Over on Instagram, who writes, "Definitely becoming a surveillance state. Next thing you know, we're going to be like China." Manny on the Rise writes, "Stop infringing on our privacy. Can I shoot a drone down if it comes over my property airspace?" And meanwhile, Italian Cook 60 simply writes, "That's awesome." Police do say that during the process they got help from airport officials on learning about the Federal Aviation Administration rules and regulations and coordinating the applications for needed waivers. Well, here at KTSM, of course, we do value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Up next, Peacock's new streaming comedy, The Paper, begins streaming on Thursday, and Mark Barger has a preview. You're gonna want to stick around for this. We'll be right back.
Family into a healthy life.
Háblenos para hacer una cita. Aquí lo esperamos.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
One could argue those are the fringe outer bands of a hurricane that hasn't even left the Pacific yet. It's still out over the Pacific off the west coast of Mexico. The remnant core will move into the southwestern United States, and if the model data holds together, that is going to pass right over Las Cruces and El Paso by early Saturday morning, and that could give us the threat of some heavy rainfalls. So we want everybody ready for the potential for bad weather on this one. It will pass through on Saturday. By Sunday, we're looking good. Gorgeous skies for the rest of the weekend. 87 degrees right now in Las Cruces. Dew point at 37, 17% relative humidity. High temperatures so far today. 93 Juarez, 92 El Paso, 91 Deming, 90 for Alamogordo, and 79 for Ruidoso. Satellite radar composite. You can see quite a bit of moisture across central New Mexico, northern Arizona as well. But all eyes are on these clouds coming in from Mexico. That, of course, is the outer band system of what is now a hurricane. Hurricane Lorena. Max winds at 100 miles per hour out over the warm waters of the Pacific as it makes a turn, according to the National Hurricane Center, toward the central part of the Baja of California. It will pass right over into Sonora State, and the remnant core will enter southeastern Arizona, southwestern New Mexico by late in the day on Friday. So the rain showers, we get a chance of those starting on Friday through much of the day. But the heavier stuff, the potential heavy rain, would start at about 11 o'clock in the evening on Friday, and that would last until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. So that overnight window and that morning window is when I am most concerned about this system. Here are the temperatures right now in your area. Here comes your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. We'll be in for a mostly cloudy day. I'm dropping that high temperature down to 89 degrees in lieu of the heavier cloud cover. If we get anything tomorrow, it would be a drop or two here or there. I'm not expecting really the rain to engage for our Thursday. I do expect it for Friday at this point. Allergy-wise, it's a 12, then a 9, then back to a 12 in the high range. In fact, the highest it can be. Here are the low temperatures tonight. 65 Alamogordo, 63 Deming, 73 Juarez, and 71 for Van Horn. Your high temperatures tomorrow. 89 for Alamogordo, 90 for TRC, 89 Juarez, 87 Deming, 88 for Van Horn with mostly cloudy skies. 65 your low temperature tonight in Las Cruces. Tomorrow you'll be cloudy, 87 degrees. Tonight for us at the airport, 72 and cloudy. Tomorrow, very cloudy day, overcast in fact, with a high temperature of 89 degrees. Now coming up in about 30 minutes, I'll have your exclusive 9-day forecast. We'll talk about that window of rain. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
I'm Isela Casas. You're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
Welcome back, everyone. OpenAI says parents will soon have more oversight over what their teenagers are doing on ChatGPT. Company announced that parents will be able to link their accounts with their children's, set age-appropriate rules for ChatGPT's responses, and manage features like the bot's memory and chat history. The artificial intelligence company says those changes are coming within the next month. Parents will soon also be able to receive notifications when ChatGPT detects that their teen is in a moment of acute distress. It's not a reboot, it's not a spin-off, but a new comedy set within the same universe of NBC's The Office. The show is called The Paper, and it is also a mockumentary-style comedy, this time about a struggling newspaper in Toledo that gets a new boss. Mark Barger has a preview.
My name is Ned Sampson. I am your new editor-in-chief.
With its look and its style, Peacock's new series, The Paper, shares a lot of DNA with that very popular comedy about a paper company. How does it feel coming in under the radar? No expectations, no comparisons.
Very relaxing.
I feel so relaxed right now.
So chill.
Yeah, feeling good.
How many of you have actually written for a paper before?
The struggles of a Toledo daily and its staff.
I wrote a paper in junior high.
Not quite the same thing.
I've tweeted.
You've tweeted?
I'm in a group text.
Provide the laughs in this new series.
Here is one of my articles I'm particularly proud of.
All captured by a documentary crew.
It was very joyful to be back in that playful shooting style with such a talented group.
Greg Daniels created the U.S. version of The Office, and he enlisted one carryover character for The Paper.
God, not again.
He started to say, Oscar, are you interested? And I said, yes.
And having office connections
Oh, fantastic!
come in handy when you're launching something new.
Every day, every actor, the writers, people I've looked up to forever and admired, and it's very surreal.
Giving this paper reason for optimism.
Don't be so self-defecating.
And laughter. Mark Barger, NBC Entertainment.
All right, we're going to have to give it a try. Well, don't go anywhere. We'll have another half hour of news and weather coming up right after this break. You're watching KTSM 9+.
UD Sport Hybrid for $339 a month for 36 months. Visit ElPasoHonda.com for more details.
Welcome back, everyone, to KTSM 9 Plus. In statewide headlines, a record-breaking bust as federal officials seized over 300,000 kilos of meth, precursor chemicals. Now, officials intercepted the shipment from China at the port of Houston and say it was bound for labs under the control of Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel. The cartel was designated as a foreign terrorist organization earlier this year, allowing prosecutors to get seizure warrants swiftly. Homeland Security agents reportedly confiscated 6 shipping containers of benzyl alcohol and 6 containers of methylformamide, which are industrial solvents that drug makers can easily convert into meth.
I want to make sure that you look at those 1,300 barrels, and I want you to have a visual of dead Americans instead of where those barrels are, because that's what would have happened.
Now, officials say that amount could have produced nearly 190,000 kilos of meth, with an estimated street value of $569 million. U.S. Attorney Janine Pirro says the investigation is ongoing. And over to our border report, the Department of Homeland Security is announcing the Trump administration will reimburse a portion of salary and benefit costs for local and state law enforcement officers who help with ICE arrests. There are nearly 1,000 law enforcement agencies assisting U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement in what is called the 287G program, targeting the arrest of immigrants who are in the United States illegally. DHS says that starting October 1st, partnering law enforcement agencies will be reimbursed up to 25% of an officer's annual salary and benefits, including overtime pay. A quarterly monetary performance award will be given based on how many undocumented immigrants are located. Now, critics argue that the program harms police-community relations by turning local police into federal immigration agents, especially when it targets individuals with little or no criminal history. And to see the 3 types of ways law enforcement agencies can partner up with ICE and the monetary awards table, make sure to visit borderreport.com. Well, North Texas construction firms say fewer qualified workers could jeopardize the region's fast-paced growth. This as a national survey finds 9 out of 10 general contractor firms say they're seeing fewer workers too. David Goins has more.
With cranes and new construction throughout North Texas, a scenario where it might slow down may seem hard to envision.
It's definitely something that we're seeing on the front line.
Shauna Guevara with Landmark Structural Builders has a variety of statewide projects, including sites like commercial builds and new schools. One of her top concerns, having enough workers.
But we have had to get creative.
Nationally, the Associated General Contractors of America found 92% of construction firms reporting delays from a shortage of qualified workers.
There aren't nearly enough workers getting trained for these construction jobs.
AGC of America says 2 main factors are at play. Many construction workers are aging out and retiring, and fewer foreign-born workers in a climate of declining immigration.
Really, the main effect, we think, is the chilling effect.
It's an issue Pia Arrhenius with the Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas is watching too, sharing in a report this summer that North Texas building growth, while still moving forward, could start to slow.
We can't grow those jobs here and grow the economy here faster than the U.S. if we don't get those extra workers.
I'm going to focus on this program for these 5 weeks.
But Guevara says efforts like workforce education programs, like this one in Lancaster, through the Regional Black Contractors Association, is helping train tomorrow's workers to address a demand.
Manpower won't do. It has to be skilled.
North Texas construction firms say is becoming harder to meet.
And that was David Goins reporting. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Mexico. Rubio is scheduled to engage in talks with top officials on security, drugs, and migration issues. This all comes as U.S. and Mexico tensions continue to rise following months of pressure from President Trump. Secretary Rubio is making his 3rd trip to Latin America as Secretary of State, and he plans to travel to Ecuador after his stop in Mexico. Well, a new law that significantly boosts protections for victims of family violence went into effect on September 1st. Texas Senate Bill 1120 was championed by the El Paso County Attorney's Office and aims to strengthen rights for victims in criminal cases involving family violence, sexual offenses, and stalking. According to the El Paso County Attorney's Office, they regularly get over 3,000 applications for protective orders and are only able to get protective orders for around 600 victims each year based on stalking, domestic violence, sexual assault, and even human trafficking.
A victim deserves to be safe in participating in the criminal justice process and the civil justice process. That's what we want them to do. And so by changing the law in this way, we're able to protect them.
Now, what SetLife is referring to is if a protective order is set to end, but a related criminal case like divorce or child custody case is still going on, the protective order will be automatically extended for an extra 2 years. Now, this new law also helps victims get improved support within the legal system and have the right to be informed about court steps and participate in the process. Well, with Congress back in session, there's a renewed push to release more Epstein files. Lawmakers met with some victims of the convicted sex offender today who shared their stories on Capitol Hill. Washington correspondent Maddie Beer-Temple has a story on the different plans in Congress.
The House passed a measure today directing a committee to continue investigating Epstein, but some lawmakers say that doesn't go far enough. They're calling for a floor vote to release all the files.
I was abused by Jeffrey Epstein.
While victims of Jeffrey Epstein recounted years of abuse at a press conference on Capitol Hill, the president greeted Poland's leader with a flyover.
Abused children.
I don't know that they did that on purpose, but if they did, that would be highly disrespectful.
Kentucky Republican Congressman Thomas Massie is leading an effort in Congress to bring more transparency to the Epstein sex trafficking case. It comes after the release Tuesday of thousands of files subpoenaed by Congress. But Massie says they don't offer much new information.
Some pages are entirely redacted, and 97% of this is already in the public domain.
Massie and California Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna are trying to force a vote to release all Epstein files.
We're united in restoring trust in government.
Their plan needs all Democrats' support and 6 Republicans.
This is an issue that doesn't have political boundaries.
Georgia Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is on board.
This is something that was worth fighting for.
President Trump doesn't think so.
This is a Democrat hoax.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says Massie and Khanna's effort isn't necessary.
The Oversight Committee's investigation is already ongoing.
The White House called Massie's effort a hostile act to the administration and said the DOJ is fully supporting a more comprehensive release of files. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beer-Temple.
All right, let's go ahead and take a pause from all of today's headlines and send things over outside. Look at those clouds decorating our sky. Definitely seeing a little bit of a different change, but our chief meteorologist Robert Bettis is already triggering that weather alert for a big change headed our way. Hey, Robert.
That's right. This weekend, especially, Monica, the rain starts periodically on Friday with the heavier stuff on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, take a look at the high temperatures so far today. 92 El Paso, 93 Juarez, 87 Las Cruces, 91 Deming, 90 for Alamogordo, and 79 in Ruidoso. We have a Hurricane Lorena. According to the National Hurricane Center, Lorena will move out over the Pacific and then make a turn in the central portion of the Baja of California. The core of that storm will break apart over Sonora State, moving into southeastern Arizona, southwestern New Mexico, and then passing early in the morning on Saturday between Las Cruces and El Paso. I'm giving you the worst case scenario, but if this plays out per the model data, my goodness, we could face some potentially heavy rainfall starting late Friday night into Saturday. So here's a quick look ahead. Tomorrow, a cloudy day. I'm lowering the high temperature only to 89 degrees. And then we'll be down into the 70s with a perfectly overcast day, periodic rain, thunder showers that could become strong on Saturday morning. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, in case you missed it, KTSM took a closer look at a law that grants parents greater control over what reading materials their children can access at school. Senate Bill 13 directs public school districts to grant parents access to review their children's school's library catalogs and records. Now, if parents find any books or other library materials they don't want their children to have access to, they can then direct schools to restrict their children from checking those items out. It's a move many parents are supportive of, and some teachers and librarians fear that this opens up the door to some parents even forcing their views on other children.
I think it's great when parents express interest and are involved in their kids' education, so I think it's a really good thing that we have access to what our kids are exposed to, and I guess it's a two-way street. So teachers in the school district, it's only one side of the child's education. So I think it's important for us to be involved as well as parents.
Layers to the law, some of which seem to be controversial. SB 13 empowers parents to challenge or appeal the district's board of trustees over library materials they deem should not be on the library catalog, and to have it removed from libraries across the district. It also directs district boards to establish a library advisory council made up of at least 5 parents from a school who would be involved in making recommendations to the board on the appeals or challenges. Well, Amazon is now ending a popular program that lets Prime members share their free shipping perk with other people who don't have the same primary address. It ends October 1st. Amazon says users who live outside of the main household should sign up for their own Prime subscription starting Friday. It will cost about $15 a month or $139 a year for a limited time. Amazon Family, which lets account holders share free 2-day shipping and other perks, will replace this program. And Starbucks is introducing protein to some of its drinks offerings in the form of protein lattes and protein cold foam. The cold foam will come in a variety of flavors, including a new banana flavor, vanilla, sugar-free vanilla, chocolate matcha, and so much more. The items will be available beginning September 29th. All right, coming up, Disney is going to pay a $10 million fine to settle a lawsuit alleging it allowed personal data to be collected on kids under 13 years old. We'll explain. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, putting local first.
I'm Robert Bettis, and you're watching KTSM 9 News, putting local first.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Hurricane Lorena has me nervous. I hope it passes us by without any kind of major problems. We need the rain, so I hope we get some rain out of it. But the potential is there for it to do a lot more. And I like to warn you about the worst case scenario, and that's what I'm going to give you. 92 is the temperature at the airport right now. Dew point 42, 18%. Relative humidity. High temperature so far today, 93 Juarez, 87 Las Cruces, 90 Alamogordo, 79 Ruidoso, and 86 TRC. Here it is, the data from the National Hurricane Center. Max winds at 80 miles per hour, gusting to 100 miles per hour. That is a Category 1 storm moving out over the waters of the Pacific at this point. Of course, when a storm gets this big, it produces quite a bit of cloud cover. The upper level winds are already starting to draw those clouds toward the El Paso area. Well, it will make a turn, and the core of the storm will move across the Baja of California into Sonora State. And then by Friday, that remnant core, which will still be spinning, will move into southeastern Arizona, southwestern New Mexico near the Boot Heel. That will happen on Friday. So we'll already have periodic rain showers on Friday. But the core of the storm passes right over Las Cruces and El Paso between about midnight Friday night into 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And that could produce the heaviest rainfall in that zone. So we just want everybody ready. Already a flood watch is posted for southern Arizona. It's interesting because the models are diverging. It's either going to go to Arizona or it's going to deflect a little bit to the east of El Paso. Either way, that's too much moisture in our area for us to handle, and thunder showers could unlock quite a bit of rainfall. So let's just get ready for Friday and especially for Saturday. Here are the temperatures right now in the area. Beautiful night tonight. We'll have mostly cloudy skies through the night, so very mild. Here is your 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. We will be mostly cloudy. If we get anything at all tomorrow, it would be a drop or two, but I don't expect much. High temperature only 89 degrees as those clouds thicken. 12 on your allergy forecast for Thursday, 9 on Friday. Low temperature tonight for you, Las Cruces, 65 degrees with mostly cloudy skies, light winds, beautiful night. Tomorrow's going to be a great day, 87 the high temperature, cloudy skies, getting ready for Friday. 72 low temperature tonight at the International Airport, mostly cloudy and very mild tomorrow. Fairly dry, maybe a couple of drops, but not much. 89 our high temperature. Now only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Friday, we could see periodic rainfall, and those rain showers actually may start early in the day. I want you to picture Friday. It's going to be overcast, and those clouds will be at a low base. So little periodic rain showers, hopefully nothing major popping on Friday. This is what worries me. From midnight to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we face a heavy rain threat. That system moves through, and it will leave us with perfection. Sunday will be the most beautiful day ever. 90 the high temperature. Very dry in the week ahead as we move back to those mid-90s. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a look outside now using our TechStock cameras. This is what it looks like. I-10 Reynolds, things are looking quite nicely. Maybe a little congestion there, but nothing major to slow you down, at least in this part of the city. Well, Disney will now pay a $10 million fine to settle a Federal Trade Commission lawsuit alleging it allowed personal data to be collected on kids under 13 years old. According to the complaint, Disney failed to properly label some videos that it uploaded to YouTube as made for kids. The mislabeling allowed Disney through YouTube to collect personal data from children under 13 viewing child-directed videos and use that data for targeted advertising to children, the FTC said. Now, that's because since the videos weren't labeled as being for kids, they included targeted advertising. Representatives for Disney did not immediately return a message for comment. We, of course, shared the story all over our social media accounts, and a lot of you had a lot to say. We're going to start off with Shannon Ritter, who writes, "They are data-driven like any other megalith. Kids' info is like diamonds to them. They need that info to target their ads. They aren't really here to spread magic and happiness. They are here to post profits for shareholders." Robert Escandon says, disturbing. This is how people who work for Disney end up with your kid. Disney equals distrusting. Now, Google, the parent company of YouTube, did agree to pay $170 million in a similar settlement back in 2019. Well, here at KTSM, we really do value your opinion, and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Well, we're back with Dr. Jorge Acosta, the medical director of the Las Palmas del Sol Bariatric Clinic. Dr. Acosta, let's talk about bariatric surgery. How does it help with weight loss?
So bariatric surgery helps with weight loss by providing patients a component of restriction, meaning we make a smaller stomach. Also some component of malabsorption, where they don't absorb all the calories that they consume. In addition to this, there's changes in the hormones of the intestine that promotes satiety, decrease hunger, and improve the insulin sensitivity.
And how does this compare to more traditional weight loss methods?
So bariatric surgery is the most powerful tool for weight loss. So it provides more substantial weight loss compared to traditional efforts like diets, exercise, injectables. We see not only higher amount of weight loss, but more sustained long-term weight loss compared to those efforts.
That's great information, Doctor. Thank you very much. Of course, for more, you can always visit LasPalmasDelSolHealthcare.com to find a provider near you.
Wellness Wednesday, sponsored by Las Palmas del Sol Healthcare.
to kids in our community. For more information, visit elpasochildrensfoundation.org.
A look at your weather. We can expect tomorrow to be a mostly cloudy day, a beautiful day with a high temperature of 89, but the clouds and the remnants of Lorena get closer and closer. On Friday, periodic rain showers and a cooler day, high temperature of 79, low base clouds, overcast most of the day. Then on Saturday, this is the day that concerns me, between midnight and about 1 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll have a wave come through. That extra moisture means the potential for some very heavy rainfall. After that, Sunday's looking good, very dry through the work week ahead. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, let's give you a quick preview of what's coming up at 5. So the father of baby Azriel with severe brain trauma asks for prayers. We sat with Guillermo Barraza, the father, and he tells us the condition of his baby. That is all coming up in just a couple of minutes. Well, that's it for me. I'm Monica Cortez. We'll see you all tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hair and wardrobe provided by